Good morning, gentlemen and ladies. In this video, we're going to talk about the transactional nature of romantic relationships. And make no mistake about it, all romantic relationships are transactional. No exceptions. Did you get that part? No exceptions. No, yours is not different. Whether you're Paul McCartney or some Joe working in a cubicle 9 to 5, romantic relationships are transactional, meaning she's with you because of the offer on the table. She's with you because she thinks you can provide her with her wants and needs to your ability and to her equivalent to what her self-esteem and self-belief and her looks and her sexual market value is, meaning the lower she thinks of herself, the more she will compromise when it comes to the man she accepts as her husband. And the higher her sexual market value, the higher class of a family she grew up in, the better her looks are and everything, she will accept less of a low life, if you will, or less in terms of the conditions that a man can provide. She will want nothing but the highest level. But sadly, a typical woman's ideal situation is a dichotomy. A typical woman's ideal situation when it comes to a man is something that does not exist in the real world, or at least not on all fronts. Allow me to explain. She wants a man who's a go-getter and a successful business person with a high earning potential in the outside world, but when at home, she wants him to be a mousy pushover that does what she says. Now, I have to be honest with you, that does happen. I have heard of a story of a army general who was so feared that, when he entered the base, everybody was on their, walking on eggs. And then one time there was like a party, at his home and everything, and people saw him with his wife, and they simply could not believe their eyes. They simply could not believe how he was like a beaten down mouse in front of his wife. She basically ordered him around like he ordered the lowest private in the army base. But this video, I want to emphasize the fact that what women want is a contrast in a man that simply cannot exist in the outer world. They want you to be a go-getter and a powerful money earner in the outside world, but when it comes to her, you must be a mousy pushover that says, yes dear, yes dear. I've met so many men that say, well, yeah, my marriage lasted a long time. And when I delve into it, I realize that he's been a yes dear all his life, who has foregone everything that he's wanted in exchange for everything that she's wanted, and he's always said yes to her, and that's why she hung around. They want you to be a loyal person that's a father to the kids and a good husband to her, but they don't want you around the house all the time. Try staying together in a situation where you're forced to stay in one room, or go on a vacation with your wife where you're together morning, noon, and night. You'll see how quickly arguments arise. They don't want to be around you. They don't want to be around you, and most of the time you don't want to be around her. So this contrast, a couple of examples I gave you, it's a part of a long list of things that they want at the same time, which are basically pushing you back with one hand and pulling you close with the other. Things that don't exist, things that frustrate the hell out of every man, because they don't know what they want. They want a series of contrasting things that does not exist, cannot exist for any period of time in a single person. And it all goes down to the same principle that seasoned lawyer one time said so nicely. He said that if you were to interview two people that were about to get married, and you compared their expectations of how he thought she was going to be and how she thought he was going to be, are so different that if they knew about it, if they actually wrote down their true expectations, they would say, hey, let's part as friends, let's shake hands and part as friends, because I am not going to be that man for you. And she would say, I am not going to be that woman for you. When you are in the normal world, you see a product or a service and you pay money in exchange for receiving that product and service. But in marriage, you are given a mother of all bait and switch deal. She presents you during the sales process with a sample that you will never receive anything close to in the actual life. She's agreeable, she is sweet, she gives you intimacy anytime you want. Whatever you say, she says, yes, sure. You want to have Chinese tonight? Okay. She laughs at your jokes. She goes where you want. She's on her best behavior. She puts her best act and her best foot forward. Until the time where she's gotten you hooked, you're married, and then she doesn't have to act anymore. Then the real person comes out. Then reality rears its ugly head. Then you realize the product sample you were given resembles nothing the actual product you were getting. But if you're married in the West, you cannot just go back to the store and say, I want a refund. Oh no. They say, you want a refund? Well, give us the keys to your car, give us the title to your house and the clothes you're wearing. Then turn around and get the hell out. And that's your refund. The realities of marriage in the West, financial and otherwise, presented to you. And those of you who've been married, some of you several times, you know what I'm talking about. It never changes. There are no exceptions. How it is before is not going to be how it is after you say I do. Because she has this plan in her head from a very young age. This idea of how it's going to be in terms of the groom, and basically you are the insert groom here. Imagine a wedding cake with the little doll of groom and the bride up there, the little plastic statue there, the plastic little figurine. You are insert groom here. This is why so often I've seen, God knows personally, I've witnessed situations where I see two people that are engaged, and she said, oh, we are each other's soulmates, and it's a miracle, it's a blessing that we found each other, whatever. And then something happens, and the engagement is off, the marriage is off. And then I see the same woman with another guy about 6 months later with the same intensity, going through the same motions to get married again. I'm going, okay, if this is, he was your soulmate, how can you have a brand new soulmate 6 months later? Because it never was him. It was what he represented for her. If it's not him, it'll be the next guy. If it's not Tom, it'll be Harry. If it's not Harry, it'll be Dick. If it's not Dick, it'll be someone else. That is a textbook definition of a transactional relationship. I always revert back to our mothers, whether you're a man or a woman. And every love, true love, should be compared to that. Because there is no lying, there is no deceit. It's a pure, real love, the only love, the first love that we experience. And for the rest of our life, we want the same thing to be duplicated, but boy, how wrong we are. It's like a person that say, tries a hard drug like heroin or something for the first time, and that euphoric feeling that he gets, for the rest of his life, he chases that feeling and he'll never find it. In the process, he ruins everything, becomes dead on the sidewalk. Same with marriage. You will never find true love that you're looking for inside of a romantic relationship. Now, if you know that, and you better know that, and then you enter it for other reasons, for God knows some other bizarre reason that you have, then fine, go right ahead. But if you're looking for a pure love, someone who cares about you when you have a headache, all of that, no, you're not going to find that in a romantic relationship. Believe me. They might act, and you might fall for the act, but that's not what you're looking for. That's not what you're going to get. It's phony. It's a fake. Even for the men that come here and get together with these girls, I sincerely believe, when I see them together, I sincerely believe that they get lulled into thinking, oh, well, this girl really likes me. I'm talking about the girls here that are poor village girls that come to these bigger cities to meet these foreigners. And these men are so beaten down, they are so deprived, they've been neglected and rejected for so long that it's like you're in a prison and no one has fed you for 10 days, and then after 10 days someone gives you some dried bread and vinegar. They've actually done that in some prisons in the east. You don't care. You're so hungry. To you, that's a filet mignon with béarnaise sauce. You eat it. And these men have been so beaten down, neglected, rejected, pushed aside, their needs and wants trampled upon, that when they come here and they see these women, even though it's 100% to them, it's a walking ATM, they see dollar signs, they don't care. They get actually lulled into thinking, oh, she's my girlfriend, And I don't even want to get into the horror stories of what these men end up with, the nasty divorces, not being able to leave the country, this girl funneling money from him through some sob story into her real boyfriend and husband's pockets. It's a never-ending story, but this is the result of these people being neglected and rejected and mistreated and forgotten for so long that they accept this. They accept this. At the beginning, the feeling that these girls give them, the attention, physical and otherwise, is acceptable, is pleasing to them. Some of them, as I've said before, knowing that they're being fleeced, they still don't care. They still go for it because the fantasy is so much nicer than the reality. Nothing I would suggest. I would suggest if you come to these places, keep your wits about you, as they say. Never forget the underlying facts. Never get too involved. Understand what's really going on. The red pill truths don't change no matter what geographical point on earth you are, my friends. The old saying, wherever you go, there you are, applies here as well as everywhere else. The same rules don't change. The same need of a woman for security doesn't change where you are. Just the amount changes. But the underlying principles are the same. A little longer video than usual, but realities and advice that can help you in life. An ounce of prevention is worth 10 pounds of cure. Ladies and gentlemen, all the best. Signing out. Morning time in the city of Jomtien Beach in Thailand. Till the next video. God be with you.